Good evening, everyone. It's me, Drive Ghost, and today I am re-recording episode 2 of Brawl because I finally listened to it back and I realized that the audio was terrible. So, I'm going to be redoing this. Hopefully we'll be doing it better. Now, as I said in that video, if you want to know, rules, some caveats, some stuff like that, I go over it in the first episode of this, which was, Master Shifu versus Master Splinter. So if you want to know, some things I say in the beginning, just go watch that. We have a matchup between two tyrannical primates, Gorilla Grodd and Mojo Jojo. This will be the original series Mojo Jojo, not from the reboot, because that one is heavily nerfed in many ways, and the reboot sucks. And General Gorilla Grodd, so not his strongest, not his weakest, trying to land somewhere in the middle as what the average for Gorilla Grodd will be, but a lot of it will be specifically from Justice League Unlimited, because that's where most my knowledge of Gorilla Grodd's feats comes from. Starting out with physical strength / attack potency. Due to his multiple versions, Grodd has plenty of different strength feats. He regularly fights against the Flash, and most of the time is implied to be physically stronger. But obviously against powerhouses like Superman, he tends to get overwhelmed. Scaling to the Flash, Grodd's strength can easily range from city block to star level or greater. But going on the average, like I said before, he'd typically only be around city level in most of his appearances, and that's usually a high ball. Moving on to Mojo Jojo, his base strength is somewhat limited, though obviously still well above a human. However, when enraged or highly stressed, Mojo can enter a sort of primal rage which drastically enhances his physical abilities. In this state, he was able to overwhelm a giant enemy that the Powerpuff Girls were struggling against, easily putting his attack potency in mountain level or higher. Moving on to durability and stamina, Grodd has tanked super speed attacks from Flash, attacks from Batman and other Justice League members in the past, but sometimes he's also been knocked out by attacks of similar power, which could just be, usual inconsistency. On average, his durability could be anywhere between city block and city level. As for stamina, Grodd isn't particularly impressive, but it's not like his stamina is low either, as he can handle prolonged fights against, other superheroes, usually. Mojo, on the other hand, is exceptionally durable, being able to endure multiple attacks from the Powerpuff Girls even when going all out. This can easily put his durability in island-level ranges, scaling on what the Powerpuff Girls have been capable of in the past. And at least on one occasion, they were supposedly hitting him as hard as they could because they were very friggin' angry at him. His stamina and pain tolerance are also superhuman, as he was seriously injured by the Powerpuff Girls before and not only survived, but seemingly remained conscious. That was in the episode where they were repeatedly sending him to jail to get candy from the mayor, and then he stole the candy, so then they beat the crap out of him. Moving on to speed and mobility, despite Grodd's, towering size, he's actually shown impressive speed and mobility, being able to leap and swing around in confined spaces. And in some cases, he's used his intelligence to predict the Flash or other fast characters' movements and tag them with attacks. Which you could say isn't really a speed feat, but that would only really be possible if he at least had superhuman reaction speeds, because obviously if he couldn't react fast enough to pull off what he's planning, then he can't pull it off. Mojo Jojo has consistently tracked and kept up with the Powerpuff Girls, which, through scaling them, would give him FTL movement speed and reaction speed, though maybe not combat speed, that's more debatable. When in his primal rage, Mojo was also seemingly able to fly, which could be connected to the chemical X within him. Though this could also just be exaggerated animation, stuff that happens in old school shows a lot, but it could be a genuine ability he has. Pretty much just up to you to interpret that. Moving on to techniques / abilities, which for this is just more so intelligence and abilities. Grodd is a genius who has invented many complex machines, and he often uses his intelligence to make strategies which allow him to keep pace with superior foes. Grodd also has his most notable ability being his psychic abilities, such as telekinesis, mind reading, and mind control. However, while mind control does sound kind of broken, some intelligent and strong-willed beings have completely resisted it, like Superman did in Justice League Unlimited. As for Mojo, he's also a genius, though his common sense is questionable. He's good at making evil plans and knowing when a plan can go too far, such as when he acknowledged that having more than one Mojo Jojo was a bad idea, or when he scolded him for basically trying to throw the sun into the planet. He also has his aforementioned Primal Rage, which boosts his physical abilities and stamina to levels greater than that of even the Powerpuff Girls. Now for equipment, which is where it really starts to look into Mojo's favor. Now, Grodd's most typical equipment includes blasters, though he also has his devolution technology, which can revert humans back into apes, as well as technology which can enhance or focus his psychic abilities. Mojo, on the other hand, has a wide variety of advanced weaponry, such as lasers and explosives. He also has a wide assortment of artifacts, robots, mech suits, all of which have been shown overpowering the Powerpuff Girls on at least one occasion. Mojo also has powerful one-off equipment, which he obviously only uses like one time, such as the key to the city, which gives him planet-level terraforming capabilities, or the artifact he used in one of the very first episodes, which can turn people into dogs. As for their notable weaknesses, they're very similar. Grodd is extremely egotistical and is often caught off guard when believing he's won. While not as short-sighted as Mojo, Grodd has failed to make contingencies for important things or overlooked important details, and, he was dumb enough to try and mind control Superman. Mojo Jojo, like Grodd, is very egotistical, but unlike Grodd, Mojo also lacks a degree of common sense and will often do things that many would consider to be short-sighted or even idiotic. He also doesn't do much physical, hand-to-hand fighting. He typically relies on his equipment or his machines, even though he's perfectly capable of fighting even without his Primal Rage boost. Maybe not against the Powerpuff Girls, but on other occasions. Moving on to their notable wins and losses, Grodd has bested the Flash on multiple occasions throughout various media, usually through the use of some planning or new technology, but he tends to lose against the Flash more often than he wins, and he's also lost to non-superhuman heroes like Batman. And he's also been defeated by Justice League members such as Superman, but hey, it's Superman, who isn't he gonna win against? He's also been outsmarted by other, more intelligent characters like Lex Luthor. Mojo, on some occasions, has defeated or at least depowered the Powerpuff Girls, and at least once he successfully conquered the world, though he obviously got bored of it, which is why he doesn't have the key to the city anymore. While he's also lost to the Powerpuff Girls many times, he has been shown fighting and winning against other Townsville villains, such as the Gang Green Gang, who he's defeated at least twice. So, looking at how Grodd and Mojo stack up, it's pretty clear how they compare. While Grodd is likely smarter, he has the benefit of his psychic abilities and is less short-sighted than Mojo. Mojo has superior strength, speed, and durability, even without his primal boost. He has more varied and powerful equipment, and a higher success rate. So, who would win shouldn't be much of a surprise, but this match is actually shockingly close. While Mojo is obviously drastically superior in terms of all physical abilities, strength, speed, durability, and stamina, Grodd is more intelligent, less short-sighted, and has his powerful psychic abilities. However, Grodd's best ability, his mind control, can be resisted by a high level of intelligence and or willpower, which I would argue Mojo definitely has both. This fight would come down to their equipment. Both have ways to theoretically win instantly with certain technology, with Grodd's devolution technology being able to devolve Mojo back down to a normal chimp instead of a chemical X-enhanced one, and Mojo being able to turn Grodd into a dog if we give him the artifact. However, generally Mojo's equipment is much more powerful, being able to keep up with all three of the Powerpuff Girls at once. If Grodd were scaled to stronger characters like Superman, or something like that, or maybe one of his stronger versions, then maybe he would be able to win. But on average, he's just not comparable to Mojo Jojo. But that begs the question, what about the next fight?